The Albanese government is to blame for Australia Post closing Glenroy Post Office and dozens of others because it is ignoring the solution that would fund all postal services. Australia Post's decision to close Glenroy Post Office has sparked outrage in Melbourne's northern suburbs, with local political leaders posting angry objections on Facebook. Local state MLC Evan Mulholland posted, "I'm bitterly disappointed at the decision by Australia Post to close its Glenroy Post Office. So many people in our community rely on this post office for basic services like the paying of bills. When local banks have closed, there's been a few, they make the excuse that locals can go to their local post office. I'm calling on Australia Post to reverse their decision and for the federal Labor government to intervene to stop it closing." Unquote. The local federal Labor MP Peter Khalil posted, quote, "The decision to close the Glenroy Post Office has come as a shock to me and the residents of Glenroy, and we will advocate to reverse this decision." Unquote. The state Labor member for Broadmeadows, Kathleen Matthews-Ward, posted, "I'm so furious about Australia Post's decision to close the Glenroy Post Office. Communities need access to services, especially communities like ours with higher than average people with a disability and people over 80, as well as lower than average internet connection, income and car ownership. It is such a bad decision. I'll be doing everything I can to see it reversed." Unquote. Merri-bek Mayor Angelica Panopoulos posted in a video, "Hi, we've just had word that the Glenroy Post Office is set to close. This is shocking news for so many of us who know the post office to be a vital community asset." Unquote. There is a clear solution to the problem of maintaining essential postal services: establishing a national post office people's bank. Postal services and banking services are both essential services. The banks are closing branches all over Australia, denying communities essential banking services, and, except for ANZ, they are also telling the customers they are abandoning to go to the post office to do their banking. But with Australia Post also closing post offices, these communities are being hit with a double whammy. The solution is a dedicated public postal bank, instead of just the private banks using Bank at Post as an agency. Postal banks are successful all over the world. By using existing post office networks, they provide banking services cheaply and efficiently, while the revenue from banking helps to fund postal services. There's no need to close post offices. A national post office people's bank would also provide real competition to the big four banks. It's the solution Australia desperately needs. Consider those points within the context of the banking problems that have beset Australia recently: CBA's severely disruptive national network outage, customers denied cash by ANZ and other banks, the acute crisis of customers being fleeced by sophisticated online scams, banks debanking competitors and customers they don't like, profit-hungry banks gouging customers by immediately raising interest rates on loans but not deposits, banks like NAB defying the Senate inquiry and continuing to close branches, and so on. A national post office people's bank is a solution to all these problems. It would be a face-to-face refuge from the digital dangers. It would guarantee cash access and payments. It wouldn't discriminate by debanking any customers, and it would put service before profit. Glenroy and Australia need this solution now.